My name is Scott Stevens and I'm doing my assessment on Toolbox Talk. I'll start with the role of an observer. As reported in the last Toolbox Talk, we have had injuries to workers who enter the drop zone while observing. Every time you are trimming, dismantling or falling a tree, you must ensure the drop zone has been identified and all crew members are involved in this process. This is a basic fundamental of your hazard identification, assessment and control process, and must be followed on each occasion. Once the drop zone has been identified, the role of observers is to ensure the person performing the cutting is safe, maintaining their clearances. Under no circumstances is the observer to perform any other duties until a cutter is out of the danger zone. The observer is always to be in a position able to communicate clearly and to be in the line of sight where possible. Trip hazards. An ATS vegetation worker was injured doing groundwork in a thick stand of eucalypts and tall grass on the ground. He was cutting eucalypt suckers with a chainsaw, placing the saw on the ground with the chain brake on and then moving out of the stand to throw the suckers over the fence. Whilst doing this for the last time, he tripped, possibly over a previous cut stump, and fell forward toward the ground. To break his fall, he put his hand and his arm down, landing on the chain, and the weight of his body behind cut his hand and thumb. The workers in the work site performed first aid before he was taken to a medical centre for treatment and received 9 stitches. As a result of this incident, we were reviewing certain tasks and the need to wear appropriate rated gloves while performing those tasks, such as wearing chainsaw gloves when operating a chainsaw, cut-proof gloves when performing groundwork. We welcome any feedback from you people on other ways we can help minimise these incidents that seem to be happening quite often. Bee stinging incident. Recently a staff member received multiple bee stings on the ear and neck whilst pruning a bottle brush. He had a strong allergic reaction to these stings and was taken to hospital for assessment and treatment with antihistamines. If anyone on the crew is known to have allergies to bees or other stinging insects, plants or other substances likely to be encountered in the field, please advise the supervisor, who will advise management, and we will put this on the record. Anyone with allergies should ensure that they have the necessary medications available during work times. Climbing incident. We've experienced another incident where a climber has failed to ensure that he was securely attached before removing his second attachment point, resulting in a free fall. Fortunately, the climber was not seriously injured, but again highlights the potential for climbers when changing from one point of attachment to another. Over the past few years, there have been numerous incidents in the vegetation industry where climbers have fallen from trees, resulting in serious injuries. As a result, be aware we have experienced a couple of these incidents. As a result of the latest incident, we need to ensure that there is better communication between the climber and the observer, and when the climber is changing attachment points. The following must be adhered to. The climber and observer must communicate when a change from one point of attachment to another is conducted. The climber must let the observer know that they intend to change the attachment point, i.e. highline or pole belt, and the observer is to watch, where possible, for the climber visibly checking that the attachment point is secured to the harness. If the climber is unsighted by the observer, the climber must verbally acknowledge to the observer that they have visually checked the attachment point. They must also preload the highline and pole belt before changing to a single point of attachment. Inspect all equipment to be used and ensure that all moving parts are free from contaminants, are working freely with no obstructions. Only triple locking carabiners are to be used. Carabiners must be cleaned with warm soapy water and at least weekly sprinkled with graphite powder. Any faulty carabiners or snap hooks are to be withdrawn from service immediately and reported and not to be used again. And lastly, line clashes and vehicle damage. Over the past month, we've had an increasing number of incidents involving branches that were too big and the operator has lost control of the branch. These uncontrolled branches have fallen on conductors, resulting in clashes as well as landing on vehicles, causing significant damage. Please make sure that you continue risk assessment of the branches you are cutting, surrounding areas, potential drop zones, weather conditions and other things that may cause an incident or damage. And that's the end. Thank you.